Hi everybody, it's Carla with Cobweb Corner Cross Stitch, and this is FlossTube number 37. I've had a crazy busy week. We've had a bunch of things going wrong in the house. We had to put a new furnace in last week, and about 5 nights ago my husband's computer crashed and he was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And we've been trying to get ready for our trip, and things have just been crazy. And my computer has been kind of acting wonky, so we've been wanting to get me something new for quite a while, for a few months now, before it does what my husband's computer did. And we finally ordered a new Surface Pro for me, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be my new travel computer, so it'll be a laptop and my full computer. And my husband, who is my awesome tech guy, has set me up. I have two spots in the house that I work. We have an office and then I have a back area. And he set me up with a monitor and a keyboard in both places. And I can just take my Surface, which is, portable, and plug it in. And I can use the keyboard and the monitor, and I can go back and forth between the two areas of the house really quickly. And I'm going to try taking it on our trip with us next week and see how it works for a travel computer. So we've been working. I've had to reload all my programs and try to remember all my passwords and try to figure out what I need to move over from the old computer. And it's just been a nightmare. So, well, not really nightmare. It's just a lot of work. And I'm finally using it today for the first time and trying to only use the new computer and see how that goes. And so far it's going really well. So let's see what else happened this week. I mentioned last time that, and my cat is messing with the cord, so if the thing, sorry, I'm gonna try to make this, there we go. So hopefully it's not jiggling too much. Sorry. It went kind of wacko on me. I mentioned last week that I joined Weight Watchers, and so I've been on the plan not even 2 weeks yet, and I've lost 8.5 pounds. I can't believe it. I absolutely love it. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it, and I understand that most of it's water weight, but I'm just really happy. 8.5 pounds in under 14 days is probably a little too fast, but I have a lot of water weight, so I'm just like, wow, yay. And I'm not gonna do a thing with Weight Watchers dieting when I'm in Spain next week. So I'm gonna eat whatever I want and drink whatever I want. So this is Bo. If you haven't been with us before, Bo likes to be part of every video. I also got back to yoga. So I hadn't been feeling good. I feel so much better now. And I was also having some back issues, and all of that right now has been much, much better. And I was able to go to yoga 3 times this week. So I was really glad about that. I mentioned we're getting ready for a trip. We leave on Tuesday, February 25th. Right now it's Friday, February 21st. So I have a lot to do. I've got to do all our laundry, and I need to pack by Sunday night because Monday my mom has to go to the hospital for 2 tests, and she'll be under general anesthesia, and we leave about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I don't expect to be done with that until 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So my Monday is pretty much taken up. I'm a little bit nervous. She is having some issues, and they're going to go in and just take a look at things, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do if they find something when we leave for Spain the very next day. Of course, she's like, you'll just go to Spain. Don't worry about it. Sorry, I need to get a drink. And you know how that goes. So I don't know. Wish me luck. And I really think everything will be okay, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. My works in progress. So I have been working on Sunflowers Farm by Core Betty Core, and you guys, I am almost done. I was really hoping I'd be done before I did this video, because it's only been a week since my last video, but I had a couple nights where I couldn't stitch because we were working with computer issues and trying to get ready for our trip and stuff. But I finished all of the top border and all of the top border here and all of the side border down to here. All I have left is the bottom border. And isn't this cool? I mean, look at how many sunflowers are in this design. It's like I should count them up, but there's going to be a whole bunch more along the border, along the bottom border. But it is so close, and I'm not going to take this with me on our trip because there's not that much left to do. But so I probably won't have it done by the next video. I'm not sure, but all I have left is this right here, and it goes pretty quick. So if you've been thinking about doing, now there's a number of designs in the Farm series by Core Ebeticore. There's Strawberry Farm, Pumpkin Farm, Sunflowers Farm, Lavender Farm. I don't know if there's a Christmas Farm. I think there are Christmas Tree Farm. I'm not sure. But they're a lot of fun to do because she has so many little motifs and stuff, but there's a lot of empty space. So you're not stitching every single square, and you moves pretty quick. So I just can't wait to get that done and get that framed. Then I'm getting ready. So today, like I said, today is Friday, February 21st, and Sunday, February 23rd is the official start date for our Songbirds Garden Stitch Along. That's by Cottage Garden Samplings. And is it Samplings? Yes, I always get that wrong. Cottage Garden Samplings. And the way this stitch along works is there are 12 designs in the series, and you can stitch any or one or as many of the designs as you want as part of the stitch along. And I finally chose Bluebird of Happiness, which I announced in my last video, and I've selected my fabric. So I'm going to insert a photo for a better shot, but this fabric, it looks a little pinkish. The fabric that the designer used, she used, Sanguine, 36 count Sanguine from Weeks Dye Works, and it almost has like a pink sand look, but I didn't really want to do it on that kind of color. So I chose Graceful Gray by Witchelt, and here's the flosses. So it looks a little bit light on the camera. It's got almost a bluish green, really light bluish green gray. And this is 22 count, and my big debate right now is whether to stitch it over 1 or stitch it over 2. I would have a lot better time stitching over 2. I've never stitched over 1 on a really small fabric count before, which I know 22 is not really small, but for me it is. I can hear all you 40 count people laughing their heads off right now. But I kind of want the design to be small. So if it's done on, I thought she put the finish sizes. Yeah. So if it's done on 28 count, it's 11 3/8 by 11 3/8. So it's square. And if I did it on 22 count, it would be, quite a bit bigger than that. So I'm thinking it would be the same as, it would be half the size of doing it on 22 count over 2, of course. So I don't know. I got to figure it out. I'm also worried that if I do it over 1, that I wouldn't be able to work on it on the plane or on vacation without a really good light. So I'm going to try a little bit of it this weekend if I get time, and see how easy it is to stitch. It may surprise me and not be hard at all, but I'm using all the called for colors, Weeks Dye Works floss, and I just changed the fabric. So I'm really excited. If you would like to join our stitch along, we would love to have you. We have, I think, just under 50 members so far. Some people have started already. Some people joined the group already having stitched 2 or 3 of the series. And some people are going to wait till after the 1st of March to start. So there's no deadline, and a lot of people are going to be stitching more than one. So if you want to join us, there's a link down below in the more information or see more section. Haul. So I didn't get any, chart haul, but I bought a new book. And for those of you have been watching a while, I've been doing a series on history of samplers, where I have been reading out of a particular book, and I was looking on eBay and Amazon, and I found books about the history of American needlework tools. And so I picked this up. This is by Dawn Cook Ronningen, Ronningen. And it's really, really interesting. I just got it a couple of days ago. So instead of doing the sampler history lesson, I'm going to read out of this one today, and I'll try to share some photos. I'll try to get some photos out of the book. But the just to give you an idea, the table of contents has things like, it starts with needles and thread, pins and pin storage, thimbles in thimble holders, bodkins, owls, and stilettos, scissors and cutting, sewing rolls, reticules, bags, and waist pockets, sewing sets, clamps, threadwork, hoops and darning, and closures and fasteners, and measuring, marking, patterns, and templates. So it's a pretty big book. It's over 200 pages, and it's just full of illustrations of real items that are either personal collections or in museums, and then there's photos of a lot of advertisements and stuff like that. So I'm going to go right into that section and start with needles, and we'll see how this goes. I don't want it to go on too long, but it's pretty interesting. So it says the needle was possibly one of the first tools devised by mankind and has been an indispensable tool ever since. It's been modified and improved over the centuries, but the basic eye, shaft, and point has not substantially changed. The quality of the needle is essential for all stitching. Needle predecessors were wood, flint, or bone. Owls used about 26,000 to 20,000 BC. It's like, wow, that's a long time ago. These tools had a sharp point that was used to pierce animal hide. Sinew was used to lace hide clothing together. The owl eventually evolved to have a notch, and later an opening for an eye. The first needles were made, like owls, of thorns or sharpened bones. The first metal needles with eyes were found in Iraq, dating 3,600 to 3,200 BC. And I've often wondered how, even just like in the 1800s and 1700s, when you look at the American samplers that we've been learning about, it's like, how did they make those needles? And how did they make them nice and sharp? And were they expensive? Where did they come from and stuff? So this section covers pretty much all of that, and it's pretty interesting, but it's something that I have given some thought to before. It says throughout the centuries, the process of making hand sewing needles has evolved from a labor-intensive, multi-step hand process to an automated mass production process. Historical materials include bronze, iron, steel, and copper alloy. With hundreds of needle types today, present-day materials include high-tech Teflon coatings and even precious metal electroplating. Needle making was introduced to England by Flemish refugees, and the English needle making industry dates from the 1550s and employed cheap labor in the form of women and children as young as 3, working in long multi-step manual process from converting wire to finished needles. And so I always wondered about that too. Did they start with steel? And I'm like, what do you do? Take a big block of steel? It's like, I didn't think about wire. So yeah, they started with wire. Needle makers were paid a higher wage because of Pointer's disease, a pneumonia-type illness caused by inhaling particles of stone and metal while grinding metal needles. Small English shops with a master, his family, a few journeymen, and apprentices continued until the middle of the 18th century. The 17th century American estate of John White, a tailor in Salem, Massachusetts, lists a needle case and 5 needles equal to 5% of the total value of his estate. Due to their expense, the proper care and storage of needles was essential for any early American home or business. Hand sewing needles were manufactured in the American colonies. In 1775, Jeremiah Wilkinson of Cumberland, Rhode Island, made needles from wire. In 1775, colonists were encouraged and offered a bounty to the person who could make the first pins and needles equal to those made in England. Needles were important tools to the American economy and part of the resistance to depending on imported goods. The American needle industry struggled and wasn't established on a semi-permanent basis until 1852. Demand for machine sewing needles drove the American production of needles for the growing sewing machine market. Hand sewing needles continued to be popular imports. American shopkeepers in the 18th and early 19th century bought imported English needles in bulk and then counted out a specific quantity for a customer. The needles were hand wrapped in acid-free paper the size and maker could be handwritten on the outside of the small package if it was marked at all. In 19th century England, the English were producing 90% of the world's hand-sewn sewing needles. American needle makers advertised their goods as equal to, if not superior, and free from rust compared to the quality imported from Europe. Yet the American needle industry struggled. In the 19th century and earlier, children learned to sew at very young ages, often before the age of 5. The Ladies' Work Table Book from 1844 states, "No one can look upon the needle without emotion. It is a constant companion throughout the pilgrimage of life. We find it the first instrument of use placed in the hand of budding childhood, and it is found to retain its usefulness and charm even when trembling in the grasp of fast declining age." Let's see. It says at the turn of the 20th century, Americans were purchasing 300 million English hand sewing needles in a variety of styles and designs. No attempt was made by Americans to seriously challenge the British needle industry. On the basis of the 1900 U.S. Census records, those sale levels equate to almost 4 needles a year for every man, woman, and child in America. English needle manufacturers were careful to secure U.S. patents for their needles and packaging. The English had also contracted American distributors in the 19th and early 20th centuries with joint ventures. With the advent of sewing machine in America, the process for making needles became more automated. Sewing machine needles were needed for the home and industrial markets in various designs requiring numerous U.S. patents. The increasing demand for needles was an incentive to automate a previously manual process. The American needle industry in the year 1900 required a labor force that included approximately 2,200 adults and 140 children. While we take sewing needles for granted today, almost all sewing needles in America are now imported. Hand sewing is a hobby rather than a necessity, and high-quality needles are readily available and relatively inexpensive. And then there's a brochure insert that talks about the manual process of women making needles, and it says it's kind of a step-by-step pamphlet. And so this page says the needle is now ready for its eye. Manual dexterity and keen sight are necessary for this operation, and women are usually employed on it. The correct position of the needle in the eye punching machine is ensured by a central guide plate, which fits into a groove on the blade and will be, and then the operator punches that down to make the needle. But one needle can be punched at a time, and every eye must be precisely in the proper place. On a daily average, a girl will punch 7,000 needle eyes or more than a dozen a minute. So that's just amazing. I can't imagine sitting in a factory or sitting at a table and doing that precision work more than 12 a minute. It's like crazy. So I will insert some photos from there here and let me know what you think. The next section is on needle storage, and there's all kinds of needle storage. So I'll have a link to this book in my Amazon shop down below in the See More information. There's a lot of different books on tools, and I think it's just fascinating. Okay, our giveaway. So last week the giveaway was Spring Flower Sampler by Sam Sarah Designs, and the winner is Renee Crump. And Renee, I think I have your address, and I will get that out in the mail to you. The business topic for today. So the business topic today, hang on, is what happens when I go on vacation. So since I'm leaving, and actually we're going to be gone a long time. A lot of times I'm just gone 3 or 4 days and we try to go on a weekend. So I might miss a Friday and a Monday, or just a Friday or just a Monday. And that's not too disruptive. I can get by with that pretty well. But this time we're going to be gone 8 days. We fly for 1 night, we're at our resort for 6 nights, and then we come home. So that's a long time for my business to be away from my business. The first thing I do when I am gone for more than just a couple days is I don't close my store down. We are only an online store, and I don't close it. I leave it open, but I put a notice on the every page that shipping has been suspended or delayed or whatever. And almost always I have an I can wait sale. And if you're watching right now, like I said, it's February 21st. If it's after March 3rd when you see this, this won't apply. But I have started early the I can wait sale for FlossTube viewers. So starting right now, today, Friday, February 21st, you can use the code I can wait, all one word, as a coupon code and get 10% off your entire order. No exclusions, floss, fabric, needle nannies, everything. And that will go through midnight, March 3rd. And I almost always do that so that people, first of all, by entering the code, I know they understand that their order is going to be delayed a few days. And it also gives them just a little benefit for being patient and saying, oh, I could go somewhere else, but I can get 10% off here just for waiting a few days. That's fine. So it's always been very popular and works pretty well. But in general, what happens to profits and stuff like that? So basically with my business, if I'm not physically working, I'm not making hardly any money. This is a job that is directly tied, where my income and my work input are directly tied together. And if you're in retail at all, that's true. But I have to be every day either entering new inventory, or the biggest thing is staying up on social media, doing videos, posting on Facebook, organizing stitch-alongs, things like that. And answering questions and getting orders out in a timely manner. So I can take as much vacation as I want because I'm a home-based business, and I can, do what I want. But the weeks when I'm gone, or the days when I'm gone, definitely take a hit on how business does, and I kind of like that. I like, before, I don't know, most of you should know that before I was a computer programmer for 19 years, and I really enjoyed my job, but it didn't matter how much harder I worked. It mattered for promotions and raises and stuff like that, but and I worked hard. That's not what I'm saying, but I didn't see that direct correlation to the more you work, the more you're successful. And I really like that. Sometimes it gets a little where I start working too much. I do work almost 7 days a week, at least a few hours. But I take quite a bit of time off. And a lot of times I'm gone 4 or 5 or 6 times a year, either like I said, just a few days, or a week here and a week there. And I don't have a problem with that. I feel bad that people have to wait a little bit for their orders, but that's just the nature of having a home-based business. And there's a lot of people in the industry who, in the stitching industry, who do the same things, because a lot of us are small business owners. So market's coming up, and a lot of my distributors will have notices on their sites that says, we're at market, go ahead and place your order, but it's not going to ship until we get back. And a lot of times when they get back from market, they're just crazy busy, and things get delayed a little longer. And you just kind of take that into consideration. So, but it is really interesting that it's one of the jobs that if I just work and enjoy my work and work solid every day, I'm going to do better. And this last year, with my emphasis only on my cross stitch business and not dividing myself between my other 2 businesses, things have really, really changed and really gotten to be quite a bit more successful. And I'm really enjoying it. I know I've said it before, but I'm so glad I found FlossTube and decided to give it a try. And I've been more active on social media, and I just feel a much better connection to my customers and my viewers, and I'm having a ton of fun. So I thank you, everybody who's either subscribed to my channel or purchased something from my shop, because it's just kind of a dream job for me. And I work hard, and next week I'm going to play hard. So that's it for the business topic. That's kind of a disjointed way to end that, but I'm kind of rambling today again. I tend to do that a lot. Sorry, and thanks for putting up with me. And I'm also really excited about going on vacation. This is one vacation where I'm always excited about vacation, but we planned this months ago, and I just can't wait. My husband has been so busy at work, and I've been busy, and we've just been kind of, run and stress, and we haven't felt good. And I cannot wait to get there and just relax and have a good time. It's a long flight. We're going to be on an airplane or in an airport for about 22 hours. So we have to take 4 different flights. We fly from Cedar Rapids to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to New York, New York to Barcelona, and Barcelona to Mallorca. And then we go back the exact same way. So that part's not so fun, but once we get there, it's going to all be worth it. This week's giveaway. Let's see. This week's giveaway is 3 items, all to the same person. The first one is kind of a memento that I had been holding on to. This is a magazine from October 2003, Just Cross Stitch. And I had kept this for quite a while, but it's just been sitting on my desk. And the reason I kept it was, where is it? this is one of the first magazines that I advertised in. And of course, I will edit this. Okay. So this is one of the first magazines I advertised in. And this is back at the time I started. This is really the first year I started. I left my job and really started working at home full time. And at that time, the domain name cobwebcorner.com was not available, but that's what I wanted to have for my website address. So at that time, my website was cobweb-corner.com. So here is my ad. And that was in, I advertised in Just Cross Stitch magazine for, a couple 3 years at least. And I think I advertised in one other magazine. And I got a lot of business from it, but it got to be very expensive. It was, like $100 a month now or something like that. And I would much rather put that $100 into Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest advertising. So that is one of the items, and it says brilliant autumn projects, great tips for changing colors, and a precious moments treat bag. And then there are 2 Easter designs by Trail Creek Farm. This somebody will always love you, and it's called Bunny Love. And then I'm Hoppin' Happy. And those are both by Trail Creek Farm. So if you want to win this, say, I'd like to stitch the bunnies. I'd like to stitch the bunnies. And you must be 18, and don't use the word giveaway. All the normal giveaway rules. So that's the giveaway for next week. All right, let me look through here. I think I got everything. Inventory. I'm just going to quick show you some brand new releases and items that are new. Some things I'm pretty excited about. The first one is Snowman Trio by Waxing Moon Designs. They have a number of trio items. They have the house trios and then like turkey trio and stuff like that. And this was just released, 2020 release. And then this one is not just released, but I just fell in love with it. At the Met by Mirabilia. Wow, is she gorgeous? And I have the embellishment pack for that. And then I just bought the first Santa sleigh in the Christmas Eve couriers, and I will be ordering all the reindeer. So I have the sleigh and the embellishment pack, and when I get back from Spain, I'll be getting all the others in that series. Then brand new, just released by Twin Peak Primitives, is the Promises of Easter series. And it's got the day before Easter, time for new beginnings, I carried Easter eggs, Easter painting, and Easter morning. And those were all brand new releases. A new release by Imaginating was Our Happy Place. It's just, this is our happy place. I kind of like that. And then another one by Twin Peak Primitives is Lovers. And this one's not new, but I saw it on Hoffman's website and I hadn't carried. This is from 2018. It's called Leeds House Sampler by Rosewood Manor. And I can't see if I can read the saying there. Sorry. It says, may the raindrops fall lightly on your brow. Sorry. Let me start over. May the raindrops fall lightly on your brow. May the soft winds freshen your spirit. May the sunshine brighten your heart. May the burdens of the day rest lightly upon you. And may God enfold you in the mantle of his love. And look at the colors on this. Isn't that just stunning? I love the mandala type center or kind of English garden center and the really ornate alphabet, but I love the blues, the blue-green. So that is Lead House Sampler by Rosewood Manor. She is just so talented. A new one by Imaginating, Let Not Your Heart. It's Let Not Your Heart Be Troubled, Neither Let It Be Afraid, Be at Peace with One Another. And that is by Sandra Cazzolino. Another new one by Imaginating is Crazy Quilt Cat by Cats by Kelly. And I love this because it's got a lot of color, but it's got little cat toys, little cat paw prints worked into the quilt. It's really cute. Then this one's not, this one's from 2017, but I've started to kind of look for some patriotic designs to get ready for summer. And I saw this one and I was like, oh my gosh, it's called Let Freedom Ring by Lila Studio. And it's a large sampler of Independence Hall in Pennsylvania. It's got the bell, but look at that. Isn't that amazing? I love this horse-drawn carriage down here and the soldiers. It's just, and then these beautiful flowers, and then look at the detail. I got to visit, we were out there in Philadelphia for a Eagles football game, and we went and visited Independence Hall, and it was really fun. Very, very interesting. Isn't that just the most beautiful sampler? I just love it. And it's done in almost all DMC floss with, there's quite a few colors, but it's mostly DMC, and there's 5 Gentle Arts threads and 1 Classic Colors work. So not too horrible to kit up. Then I got another patriotic sampler by Jeanette Douglas. And it says Star Spangled Happiness and Banner Waves of Pride. And then this is an older one, but I loved it, so I ordered it from Hoffman. And it is called Scary Stack by Bent Creek. I just love this cat with the smile there. And then I got Tiny Blackwork 2 alphabet sampler by the Sweetheart Tree. And I think that's it. So that's just some of the brand new things that have been released recently, or some things that I picked up for the shop. So check those out. And I also this week added a bunch of fabric, Wilchilt fabric. And I got the Easy Guide ball tip needles in, and they sold out in like 2 days. So I'm ordering a whole bunch more of those. So to end the segment, I'm going to end with a poem. And I've been reading a poem out of The Rose That Blooms in the Night by Allie Michelle. You can find this in my my Amazon shop, and there's a link to my shop down below. And the poem I'm reading today is, Freedom to Fail. Freedom to fail. I would rather fail doing what I love than hide behind the success of what feels safe. Trying to avoid judgment and failure is akin to shackling your wings. This life is not very long, you see. It may feel like a great risk to put your heart in the ring, with your dreams so vulnerably exposed on the line. The greatest risk of all would be to never even try. Don't you see? If you fail doing what you love, it's not failure at all. I really like that. So, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you can, and please share. And all the information you need, links to the shop, and the coupon code that I mentioned are down below. Have a great time. I won't probably make another video for at least 2 weeks, and I'll keep you posted when I get back on our trip to Mallorca. Happy stitching, everybody. Bye.